Hello, it's Doug from Behind Closed Doors, and today I'm going to be looking at Kevin Samuels chatting to Nicki Minaj. I did another video on Kevin Samuels, which I'll link in the description below, your average at best video. So let's see what Kevin's got to say in this video.
You know, let's have this real talk. Let's have this real talk. Because I know a lot of times when people will speak to you, it's like they trying to be funny. And I feel,
Well, I think a lot of the times when women come on, and it's usually women that call in the show and talk to Kevin Samuels, I find that they're not just trying to be funny, they're also not prepared. They're always holding the camera and they can never seem to keep it still. They're talking about stuff that is irrelevant to him trying to help them. They're just all over the place.
I feel if you call somebody trying to be funny, then don't be mad at what you get. If you call somebody that, you know, and you're really trying to, you know, sincerely.
Yeah, especially if somebody's giving you their time and attention, you want to respect that.
Really ask questions or get information or chat, then that's different. So I want to talk to you.
Okay. What are we talking about?
Well, what do you rate me?
Is that what we're starting off with?
I don't think Kevin Samuels rates people. I think he gets them to rate themselves, if I remember correctly.
Off with?
Yeah.
Do you think the men rate women?
No, I thought, because isn't that what you do?
What have you seen of my content? Have you just seen like the clips?
Yeah. I think I always see people calling you and you tell them, you ain't no such and such. You lying to yourself. You ain't this.
What I typically don't do is I don't typically rate people. I ask them if they rate themselves. I usually ask these questions.
So let's start it that way.
Yeah, basically what he does is he does an inquiry, and this is why I like Kevin Samuels, because he's very similar in some ways to Byron Katie. But for those of you who don't know, Byron Katie does the work, and it's a series of questions. Is it true? Can you absolutely know that it's true? What happens when you believe that thought or that story? And who would you be without that thought or story? And that's what I like about Kevin Samuels, is that he has a structure, a system in place, and you just go through and answer the questions. The thing I like about Kevin Samuels is he tries to find out what you're after. He tries to find out where you are by asking a series of questions. It's very consultative in nature, and it's based on inquiry. And then he tries to align them and look at the disparity between the two, between where somebody is and where they'd like to be. And so he's all about helping people get to where they want to be. And if they can't get to where they'd like to be, then look at where they could get to and aim for that. And so it's always a very positive experience, I find, watching Kevin Samuels.
I usually ask these questions.
Oh, let's start it that way.
Yeah. How tall are you?
I'm 5'3".
Dress size?
My dress size? And the Don said that. My dress size?
Is she acting like she doesn't know what a dress size is?
That's a good question.
It's a fantastic question. What's the answer?
I guess a 4.
All right. And on a scale from 1 to 10, you can't use 7. What would you rank yourself? Fresh face out of the shower, just you.
Yeah.
That's how I was.
Yeah, because she seems to be wearing a lot of makeup and under a lot of stuff there.
Question.
Seven.
Can't use 7.
Come on, Nicki, you know you can't use 7. Why do you revert to 7? That's the answer everybody gives. It's not just to do with rating their sexual market value. People naturally default to 7 anyway. 7 is a very safe number, and people kind of automatically default to it. So it doesn't really tell you anything about what they're actually rating themselves as. 7 days of the week, 7 dwarfs, 7 sins. See, I know my 7s. Don't think I don't know my 7s.
That's why 7 is the most common answer.
Really?
It's the default answer for most people because they don't want to go too high, they don't want to go too low.
Well, no, it ain't a default answer for me.
Well, let's see. I would give you a 9. I would give you 9 because you have the facial symmetry and you get additional points for eyes, full lips. See, it's not, I'm an actual image consultant. And I'm sure you deal with a lot of people who take your pictures and stuff and so forth.
You know what? I don't like all this stuff about rating people on a scale of 1 to 10. You look at somebody and you think, would I fuck them or not? It's a binary decision. I don't understand why people have to objectify everyone. It's a case of, would I fuck this person or not? That's all you have to answer the question. Like, we don't need to keep putting people on these scales whereby they feel inadequate. If someone's a 7, let's say, and they're a really good person, then they're worth dating, aren't they? But if they're a 7 and they're a fucking dickhead, then they're not worth dating, are they? So, and let's say that we'll all fuck a 7. There you go, 7's fuckable and a 6 isn't. There you go, made it simple. And it's also not just to do with looks, a huge amount of it is to do with smell. Because attraction isn't a choice. We don't choose who we're attracted to. Our bodies decide who we're attracted to, and our body lets us know who we're attracted to. And then we have to make a decision about what we're going to do about it. But it's an unconscious decision to be attracted to somebody. Somebody walks in the room that you fancy. You don't think, oh, I'm going to decide to fancy them, and then now you fancy them. And then, oh, I think I'm not going to fancy them anymore, and press the button and not fancy them anymore. You'd either fuck them or you wouldn't. And either way, it's not your decision, because your body decides it. All you have to decide is what you're going to do about it. And so then the next question to ask is, once you look at somebody and you think, yeah, I'd fuck them, the next thing you've got to ask, that's just one criteria, or yeah, they're beautiful or whatever it is. That's just one criteria. There's so many other things that you've got to check for first, mostly to do with their lifestyle, their personality, the way that they smell. Scent is a huge thing in attraction. There's so much to consider, and I think people are very shallow when they look primarily at looks, especially when looks are so distorted so much through the internet, through using makeup and filters and high heels and all the other stuff that they use.
And so it's much more based upon facial symmetry. It's not based on European beauty standards or anything like that. It's much more based upon what babies, animals, human beings have evolved to find attractive.
Wow.
You get additional points because we have evolved to find more slanted eyes somewhat attractive, especially when they're not on Asian.
Wow.
But that's not what gets translated.
I feel like doing Zoolander. My God, I've never seen such symmetry.
That's not what gets translated. Most of the time, people take my clips and cut it down to something that's going to make a viral moment. It's going to start a conversation.
Yeah, and that's good for marketing, but it's not necessarily good for helping people.
Take the good with the bad. Have you seen anything else that I do?
I saw one time when you checked this lady for, I guess it was a white lady or a Hispanic lady, and you was like, oh, you're not going to come on this show and talk down on black women. That's what the fuck you're not going to do.
Yeah.
And so again, that was a clip I didn't see.
You know, when I put my other Kevin Samuels video up, there was in the comment section there was a huge thing about race, and I don't understand it. Like, I think it's misguided.
The clip I didn't see the context really, but
well, I get a rap of hating black women, and it's far from that. I mean, there are over 50 black women who report that they've gotten married as a result of watching my content in the last year.
Really?
It's on my Instagram. I actually had a young sister just post up saying, "Hey, as a result of you, I snatched the ring." I just actually posted a brother who was about to move to the Dominican Republic, and he found his wife in my Facebook group. Like 12 couples have gotten married in there, but that stuff doesn't get publicized.
The reason why that stuff doesn't get publicised, or why people don't gravitate towards it, is because it works and it's a success story. And what happens is, like with the news and stuff, we tend to gravitate towards the controversial, the negative, because just in terms of like evolution, if things are working, we don't need to pay attention to them because they're already working. But if something's breaking down, or if there's a problem, then we have to pay attention to it because it could inhibit our ability to survive and reproduce. So our attention things that are negative get our attention much more quickly and readily than things that are working and are safe and that are positive and that are good. So that's why human beings have a tendency to focus on the negative and to get stuck there on only seeing the negative instead of missing out all the things to be grateful for in life. A bit like with your car. If you go out to your car and you drive to work every day and your car's working every day, you don't think anything of it. You kind of habituate to the fact that it's going to work. But when you go out one day and it doesn't start or the battery's dead or whatever, now it's a problem. Now you give it your full attention and you get the mechanic out and you have to take it to the garage and all that kind of stuff. So it gets more of your time and attention when it's breaking down as opposed to when it's working and you're ungrateful for it. That's why when you do get your car back on the road, or if a problem is solved, or if something was negative and it goes better, there's that nice feeling afterwards. Or even if you're poorly and then you feel better afterwards, there's that bit just after you've been poorly where you have a newfound appreciation for feeling well or for things working. But that's usually after things haven't worked for a while, because we have a natural tendency to not be grateful for the things that are working and to focus our attention on the things that aren't working.
Talking about. But when I'm talking about relationships, I'm talking about men and women, but because I'm black, I'm talking about us. And from time to time, I would bring stuff in, and then a lot of times sisters would say, well, men, when they get to a certain level, they only want white women or this or that. So I let women from other races come in. I'm like, okay, well, can you learn anything from them? What would you teach them? And the one woman came in and she thought she was going to do what I did to black women. I'm like, hold on, oh wait. Now we can talk this way, but Karen, you sit your ass down over there, because I don't play that.
I'm getting a little bit lost here. I don't know what he's talking about.
I wouldn't let despite popular opinion, I love my mother, I love my daughter, but we do have to have a family conversation, and what's starting to happen more is actually we're starting to have more conversations about this. It ain't comfortable, but we're starting to see progress.
Well, let me ask you this just outright then. Why do successful black men date outside of their race?
Oh my God, it's the wrong question. Well, why can't they? Just take race out of the equation. It's a bit like saying, well, why do successful men date tall women, or why do successful men date short women? You can date whoever you like, and people are going to have different preferences. And so, if you believe in freedom of choice of the individual, then you can date whoever that you want, and it's not an issue. So why ask the question? It makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Why do successful black men date outside of their race?
The question Nicki just asked is a redundant question. Why do any men date girls in general? Why aren't they all gay? Because people have different personal preferences.
Why do successful black men date outside of their race?
Why would you want them to date within their own race? It doesn't make sense to me. Why is it about race and success? I don't understand.
Their race.
Well, I would say this. When I look at men, I split them up. Guys that I consider to be in the industry, music, entertainment, athletics, and then guys on the business side. Okay. Business side, because I come from that side. But more often than not, black men want to be with black women. We do marry. 85% of black men are married to black women.
Oh.
When I have my guys come to me, even after they got themselves together, like Dennis Furling, the guy who just moved, he found his black wife in my group. Black men we want to be with them. The problem is, let's be honest, in my lifetime, we weren't really raised to learn how to get along with one another. We can kick it, we can hook up, but can we work together long term? And you're married now, right? Okay, relationship is a skill set. It's different than dating in short term. We really want to talk that kind of stuff. And what successful people who are doing good in their professional life want to fail in their personal life.
And the Gotham Institute, I believe it's called, if I remember correctly. I did a video on this as well. I'll link it in the description below. they looked at what made a successful long-term relationship and what the habits were of a successful long-term relationship. Because it's easy to hook up with anyone short-term that you fancy. That's easy peasy. But what's difficult is to maintain a relationship over time.
Fail in their personal life, and in the black community in particular, when we fail in our personal lives.
Again, I don't understand this black community kind of thing. It's sort of like we all live together. We all got to get on. And again, I don't understand this black community kind of thing. To me, it's based on how somebody treats you. It's based on honesty, trust, and respect. And that's what I advocate on this channel. And I think a lot of the times, a lot of these things that are put down to race, it's not really about race. It's about disrespect. There's a lot of disrespectful people out there. And so people are going to date people who respect them.
We pay a huge penalty because so few of us get married. It's almost like we like to see people's marriages fall, but we need more of those things in order to build whatever we're going to be. Because,
like I said, in the comment section of my other Kevin Samuels video, it was always about, oh, black women this, black women that. And I'm like, I put another response video on there and showing another woman, a white woman, disrespecting a man and disrespecting everyone. She was a bloody dickhead and you want to stay away from her. It's not a thing based on race. It's based on respect and disrespect.
People may not like my method, but I want to see more black men who want black wives get with black women. And that's the outcome we're getting. It ain't pretty, though. Sometimes it ain't pretty.
Can I say something? Can I say something real quick? Black women, can we stop talking about if these niggas want us or not? Excuse me, Kevin, this is not, I'm talking to black women.
And I say the exact same thing to, again, I don't want to bring race into it because I don't think it's relevant, but like men that aren't being selected by women. Oh, what does she want? Does she want me to act like this? Does she want me to be so tall? Like the fresh and fit people do. They're always banging on about what women want. And, oh, you got to be 6'4" and with six pack and in six figures and all this kind of stuff. And it's sort of like, don't care about what they want. Care about what you want. And I'd say the same thing to women as well. Don't worry about what the other person that you're pursuing is interested in. Think about why you're interested in pursuing them and what qualities you look for. Forget about what they want.
Real quick. Can we stop posting all day on TikTok? Because I newly went to TikTok and I just kept seeing this. Mm-hmm. Black women, can we stop talking about if these successful black men want us or not? Mm-hmm. Why do successful black men date outside of their race? Mm-hmm. Like, can we just focus on us and we be successful and then we go out there and we decide who the fuck we want?
Again, the only issue with that is the more successful a woman becomes, because women date across and up social dominance hierarchies, so the more successful a woman becomes, the less opportunities they're going to have because there's less successful men available. So that's the only problem. So it depends how you define success.
Because what I've been seeing is, I feel like I've been seeing men using that as an opportunity because they've been hurt and somebody done something, and they've been using it as a way to come out and lash out and poke fun at black women and use it as a way to feel like they somebody or they something. Or
well, the whole space, the manosphere, the red pill, the kind of men versus women thing, the whole thing's contaminated. It's all fucked up on both sides.
So for all you niggas that's doing that on TikTok, wherever the fuck y'all at, eat a dick, go away. Nobody gives a shit about you. And I want black women to stop fucking posting about whether or not y'all want black women or not. Mm-hmm. Why do successful black men date outside of their race? Okay, well, I want black women just to focus on themselves, be successful, and then
I agree with what Nicki said. I agree with that for women and I agree with that for men. And I think that is the best thing that you can do as an individual, to accept responsibility for your life. But instead of like all these faces that she's doing in this kind of like, I feel like a hint of sarcasm with it. It's sort of like, I do it from a more positive outlet, with a more positive vibe, instead of, I don't care what a man thinks about me. I do it from a more kind of like, I genuinely don't care what they think about me. I'm going to go and enjoy my life. Let everyone else do what they want to do. It's more of a kind of nonchalant thing. It's not so much of a negative thing, like I don't care. It's more of a, I really don't care.
You go out there and you decide the trajectory of your life.
See all the faces that she's pulling? That's what I don't like. This is why it'd be very difficult for me to have a conversation with this girl, because she's just... And I'm quite an expressive person too, and I'm using my hands here all the time and shit, and I'm pulling faces too. But it's sort of like, again, it's contaminated thinking. It's the right answer, but it's contaminated thinking. It's not coming from the best place or the best vibe.
There's a lot of hurt on both sides. And especially in the Black community, we don't really do a lot with counseling, therapy. I recommend therapy.
But I do agree with Nicki. I think the thing that you've got to do is focus on yourself as an individual, and don't give too much weight to what the group or what people are doing.
Therapy often because we got a lot of stuff individually that we want to deal with. And marriage and relationships are not for everybody. And I'm just trying to, ultimately I ask people, what do you want? What do you want, and what are you prepared to do to get what you want? And are you willing to pay that cost? It's really the conversation.
Absolutely, that is the conversation.
But it always gets kind of whittled down. But at the end of the day, what we are seeing is, especially if you're under 30, it's harder for guys today under 30 than it was from 50 years ago, because you can't take care of a family on out of high school or just coming out.
Especially if the woman's even more successful than you are, because A, they won't sexually select you, and B, you won't be able to provide, and they're after a provider. So this is why I don't necessarily agree with that part of what Nicki said about successful women, because the whole feminist movement the whole purpose of it was just to destroy the family home. It was so that, because you couldn't tax a housewife, but if you get her going out and working for the man, now you can tax her. And now somebody else is raising your baby that you have to now pay for, and then the state can tax you on that as well for childcare. Whereas if you had a man going to work and a woman staying at home, you can have it the other way around as well. The man can stay at home and the woman can go to work, whatever you want to do. But you need to be able to have one breadwinner for the family, and so that the other person can stay at home and work with the family to create a good atmosphere there. But when you're both going out to work and no one's looking after the family, it falls apart. And now the government can tax you at every single intervention of that, at the daycare, at the tax when you're at the workplace, and it's all a scam. Feminism's there in order to destroy the family home, no matter what colour skin you are.
So they're at the bottom. And I just had men's week, and I told guys, look, while you're under 30, work on getting yourself together, because like it or not, you're really not in a position like you should be to be able to work with, lead, do anything like that. And you see the hate, not the hate, but the hurt on both sides, because a lot of times people will use these talking points to go at and poke women over here, but that's not what's going on right now. This year, we're past the sound. I mean,
You see, this feels like a very uncomfortable conversation, but these two are really doing a good job at really listening and contributing something of value to consider. And that's what I'm trying to do with this video as well, looking at somebody from an outsider's perspective of what they're saying.
I mean, we still laugh. We still do all that stuff. We're talking about self-awareness. And
I'm not going to pretend to understand things that I don't know about. I can only talk about things that I know about, and the things that I don't know about, I'll say, well, I don't know about that.
And moving the needle. I'm in LA tomorrow talking with a famous sexologist, a womanist, feminist, to talk about things that that people on my side may not understand, to further open the conversation up. Because that's what we have to get to. We got to end up, for whoever want to be involved with whoever, we got to end up having a better conversation.
But it's not just the conversation, because that kind of ties into communication. That's what people put it down to a lot. Oh, you don't communicate, we don't talk, we don't, have the conversation or whatever. But a lot of the times it's not the talking or the conversation or the communication or whatever you want to call it. It's where it's coming from that is tainted. Because there's disrespect, there's a lack of honesty, and there's a lack of trust. And that's why I say honesty, trust and respect are the most important things in any relationship, because else otherwise anything less than that is going to contaminate the conversation. And also you've got to go into it with seeking to understand before seeking to be understood. You've got to understand where the other person's coming from. and listen. 95% of this is listening, and 5% is thinking, all right, what are we going to do about this? Because you can't go in with an agenda. You can go in with an outcome, but not an agenda.
Involved with whoever, we got to end up having a better conversation, because while we're separate fighting, everybody else just eats off of us. That's really what it looks like. So,
and fighting and arguing and all that kind of bullshit is easier, isn't it? It's easy to have a go at somebody and get angry and upset. It's easy to be emotional. It's very difficult to reserve your emotions and allow your thoughts to control your feelings instead of your feelings controlling your thoughts.
but,
Okay, Kevin. So since we here, no, we got to get down to the business chat.
Go ahead.
Now, do you think a man can have sex 3 times a night for the rest of his life?
Those guys can't.
Again, I don't understand why she's asking this question.
Those guys can't.
They can't?
Not for the rest of his life, no.
Well, how many times they gonna be able to do it?
Here's how much he's working.
Again, this is, I don't get this. I don't know what she's talking about.
It's not how much he's working. That's why I say it's different on.
But wait, listen, listen, hold on. How many times should a man expect to have sex? What is, in your opinion, how many times should a woman give their man sex?
Again, I don't know where this is going.
A week.
A week?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fan.
Well, it depends, doesn't it? It depends if you have a child. It depends if the child's in hospital. It depends if the fucking dog's just died. It depends on a whole variety of things. So it's kind of, again, it's like, it differs from week to week, doesn't it? Depends if one of you is working away.
I'm a fan of the as often as he wants it.
No, hold on.
Yeah, it should be as often as he wants it.
Because here's the thing. Here's the thing. You look at, like I said, I look at.
Oh my God, her face. Oh, you can just. She seems like a very intelligent girl, but like she's just so got this really nasty attitude.
You look at, like I said, I look at guys. Most guys I'm talking to are working 10, 12-hour days. Bernie Mac said it. I'm gonna come home and give you 50 strokes. You count them if you ain't got time. Most dudes trying to walk around like they porn stars. Look at, man. Get good at foreplay, eat some pussy, and get on. Because we gonna have all that time. We get old, our back hurt, our hips out.
Oh no.
When you get older, but I think.
Like, if you've been in an intimate relationship, you understand intimacy. And if you actually like the other person, you want to please the other person. So a relationship is really all about service. I think Chris Rock talked about it in his latest stand-up show, Tambourine. And he said, and I agree with him, it's a service-based industry. You're there to serve the other person.
I think a healthy sex life 2 to 3 times a week is what most people are doing. Because they got kids.
Yes, no, I understand.
But when you're single, no kids, whenever you want to.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know what all these facial expressions mean.
Well,
She's like, I don't know about that one.
no, I understand, because yes, things change when you have to be looking at your baby, and a lot of, I get it. I totally get it. But let me ask you something. Do men really want?
Again, when this question, even the way it's framed, do men really want? It's like every man is different. Like, what I want is going to be different to what that guy wants. It's going to be different to what that guy wants. So how can you generalize like that?
Do men really want? Because I was having this discussion 2 days ago. Do men really want a woman to be all up under them? Oh, baby, hi, yeah, ooh, or do they just say they want that, and when they want that, and when they get it, they be like, because I feel like me being mean is what, yeah.
Patrice.
Again, I don't know what she's talking about, and I don't like mean girls.
The late, great Patrice O'Neal said it the best.
I love Patrice O'Neal. If you haven't seen any of the Black Phillip show, go watch it. I love Patrice O'Neal. He's a fucking G. He's a legend. I love him so much. I've done a Patrice O'Neal video as well.
We want you around, but not around. He made a comedy bit where he said, we want you in the house, kind of like around the corner in the...
Yeah, you want an easy relationship.
Somewhere, we kind of want you to be like a cat. You call a cat's name, hey, babe. Okay, you there, cool. We just want to know you in touching distance.
It's a bit like having children. You want to have children, don't you? You want to have them in the other room playing, enjoying themselves, and then you go and play with them and spend quality time together. But you don't want a kid there that's moaning and complaining and whining and bitching and feeling entitled and all that kind of stuff and smashing things up and causing unnecessary drama to get attention. You wouldn't want a child like that. Well, it's the same with a woman.
It's really always because we really
And I feel like I'm like a man. I feel like
I don't feel you're like a man at all. She's way too comfortable with aggression. You just couldn't act that way. But she gets away with it because she's a girl.
You know, a lot of people throughout my life would tell me that I'm like a man. Because I remember people would tell me I shouldn't expect as a woman.
You probably have masculine traits, especially if she's successful. She might have masculine traits in terms of like low disagreeableness, high in industriousness, and that kind of thing. So you might have more masculine traits, but nothing like a man.
To have a climax every time I do it, right?
Why not?
Like Hilton. And I said, excuse me, are you out of your fucking mind? Why wouldn't I want to climax every time I have intercourse? Just like you want to climax when you have intercourse. And I was accused of being like a man. Not in my, this is years ago. And I knew that wasn't gonna work, child. Cause it's not only about you.
Well,
What do you think about that?
She gets points for listening. She is a very good listener.
Yeah.
Well. So when I go to LA, I'll be talking to sexologists. Shambu Dream. There's a lot that men don't understand about sexuality. Most guys, you ask them what the Kama Sutra is, they don't know what it is. They don't know anything about tantric sex. They don't even know that. You couldn't even show them the anatomy of a vagina and they can understand parts. Just weren't taught.
Yeah, I think whether you're a man or woman, getting good at sex is a good thing.
So, if you know what you're doing, yes, you should have as much orgasm. You should. You're multi-orgasmic. You can have more than we can.
That's right.
So the point is that I think
women always have more orgasms than men do. Like, whenever a man's with a girl, if he knows what he's doing and she's enjoying it, she's going to have like 10 orgasms to every one that he has, or 5, 2 at the least.
Is that I think that was part of the purpose of going down there, to have this conversation, because women's sexuality is so misunderstood by men. So a lot of guys make comments about women and not knowing, and they make...
Yeah, there's a lot of locker room talk and sort of like men acting like that. Because men like to believe that they can fuck really good, and they like to believe that they could fight if they needed to. But a lot of the times they fucking couldn't. And it's the arrogance of the man, the ego, that kind of gets in the way of it all.
All right, I've heard that before. I'm like, I didn't know if it was a curse word or what. All right, cool. Well, good to be on here with you. You got any other questions? Because I got to get packed.
Gotta finish talking to my people, but I want to tell you that I appreciate you joining me tonight.
Appreciate it.
And I don't want to, and to everybody that's wanting me to diss this gentleman or anything, I'm not going to do anything because I don't have proper information, and I don't do shit to get attention or to get clicks or to do no clown shit. If I hear something and I understand the context and Kevin and I wants to talk, then we'll talk. But I'm not just here to diss nobody. So Kevin,
if I say some shit you don't like,
yeah, you see, that's respectful.
If I say some shit you don't like, feel free to talk about it.
I will. Kevin, we're gonna have you on Queen Radio in a month or two, okay?
Let's do it.
All right. Take care.
That was all right, I think. Hello, my name is Doug, and I've created a video tutorial called What to Message a Girl for Online Dating Success. The reason why I've created this product is to help those men out there who are dating online but are not getting the replies or getting the dates that they desire. My product will teach you what to message a girl, what not to message a girl, when to message a girl, how to respond when you're not sure what to write, what to do if she doesn't reply, how to get her phone number, and how to communicate to get online dating success. If you're getting matches and no success, this product is for you. It's what you need to do today to start getting success with your matches. I'll also be talking about other issues such as how to spot red flags, identify time wasters, to stay out the friend zone, how to deal with ghosting, simmering, and icing. Not only will I be giving you exactly what you need, copy and paste, I'll also be explaining to you the reason why I'm writing what I'm writing so you can understand the psychology and know what behaviours to look out for and which ones to avoid. This product is packed with value. I've tried to cram as much as I can into a short amount of time as possible while being the most informative. If you're a man and you're confused and frustrated with what to text with online dating, this product is the solution for you to get more dates in less time. Click the link in the description box below to buy the product and change your dating life forever.